Right, so I'm gonna do one more video on South American culture, and then I'm just gonna leave it, even if it's shit and it's not finished, because I could talk about this for 7 million years, but I'd be repeating a lot of the same points and exaggerating how much I fucking love it. Um, yeah, yeah. Where was I? Where was I? Sorry for walking around all the time. I know I did in a lot of videos. People are saying they don't like the videos because they keep seeing it. So just stop looking at the videos and just put earphones in and watch something else. Or watch your porno and listen to me talk. Actually, don't do that. Or I mean, you can, but it's up to you what you do with your life. Anyways, South American culture. This is part 4, and I'll leave it at this. So before I was touching on basically the education here, the fact that it's quite safe here, but there's a few things aren't so great here as well. One is the toilets out here. They're not the best. You have to buy your own toilet paper. You can't flush toilet paper down the toilets because they just don't have the plumbing works out here. Don't have the systems to do this. And you got to pay for most public toilets, although you have to in most cities in the world now. It's just where I live, you don't have to. As such, it's cheap as hell out here. That's one good thing about being out here. That's another thing. But this is about culture, not about that. So, what can I talk about? Cultural differences. I do not like homosexuals out here very much. I think actually they might be allowed to be married here in some places, but they don't really like them very much and they're not very open. So if you're a Westerner, be aware of this. They have a much more feminine, masculine cultural ideas, the old stereotypes, but I don't know, people seem a lot happier with these old stereotypes than they do in the UK. I remember, for example, when I was with my girlfriend, she'd be cooking and cleaning and whatever, and she wants to have kids, like basically like the 1950s wife type thing. But the difference was, this sounds awful. This sounds awful to you because you're thinking, oh, you're just a bastard. You just got with this woman because she's like that. No, I got with this woman because I liked her. I had no idea what she was like until we got dating a bit. And, she's cooking and whatever, and I'm not doing anything, and I'm just thinking to myself, what a lazy bastard I am. I should help her out. So I helped her out. She starts shouting at me, like, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Leave me to it. And after a while of this happening over and over again, I just left her to cooking. I'm thinking to myself, this poor woman. But I spoke to her about it at depth, and it turns out she's happy. She's happy to cook for me. She's happy to cook for the family. This is her role, apparently. And she enjoys it. But the difference is, see, if someone said that to me in the UK, it would probably be bullshit. They might be saying it at the time to make me feel better. But she seemed genuinely happy when she was cooking. She seemed genuinely happy to see the family all happy. So yeah, for her this worked because she has this build-up idea. So I'd be sat on the computer doing nothing, or speaking to someone from England, or speaking in Spanish to someone. I'd be at the shop or whatever, feeling lazy, like, oh, I feel sorry for this woman. But actually, she was quite happy, and I'd come back, or she'd call me for dinner and we'd kiss, and she'd be very happy, She'd do this for me, and she would feel pride in what she's doing, and she'd be happy I was happy. And normally, I didn't, obviously, because I'm a lazy bastard. I did work hard in the jungle, but I didn't work out here in Latin America. Although I probably will go and help out a English school soon. Oh, they're open now. I might go inquire. Maybe in the morning or tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, I'll be helping them out for free, obviously. And it's normal for men to work and for women to look after the home and the kids. But actually, it's not harmful like it's portrayed to be in the West, or at least it's not harmful for these people. They all seem quite happy to do it out here. They all seem happy to have their family. The men are happy, the women are happy. Everyone's quite happy with this arrangement. And some of the women work a little bit and look after a family, and they're happy too. And some of the women don't, but usually, yeah, the women sit at home, and yeah, it seems to be the Latin culture thing. You have kids, you have 3 or 4 kids, 5 kids, depending on where you are. Or sometimes you have 7. Your husband does the work, he comes back, you have holidays for a week at a time. And also work is a lot more flexible here. For example, if you're ill for a day and you tell your boss, they just accept it. They tell you to tell them when you're not ill, and then you come in 5 days later. There's no complaint. There's no doctor's notice. They understand this kind of shit. If you're late in the morning, an hour late, your boss might be pissed, but they're ultimately not going to care here. They'll just say, oh, maybe you work another hour, and you'll say, yeah, okay. But usually they don't have to ask. Latin Americans here know, what's approximately the right amount to do, and they'll just work an extra hour or an extra 2 hours, or they'll say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. I've got a bunch of food and such. Do you want to take that and forgive me?" Or they'll just give you the food and say, "Oh, this is for not going to work," and your boss will just say, "Oh, okay." Because it's not so much about being strictly anal and strict to the rule here like it is in UK, in Europe, and in America. It's very much working to the clock. It's very much this. It's more about meeting the demands of the community and the general demands. And they're a lot more forgiving here of going out of work hours, but they're a lot more inefficient with their work. A big problem I have out here is, people will work in the house and they'll have their kids and they'll be selling shit in the store that's also the house during the day, and then the night they'll all chill, or they'll just sell stuff slowly in the day, right? And I like that, but there's problems with that. The biggest problem with this is it's shit for me, basically. Everything's cheap as hell, but it's shit for me because the service can be slow. You can be waiting 15 minutes when there's no queue for something, because they're cooking it, the family's talking, they have an argument, or you're playing with the kids or whatever because, there's no one at the reception, so you just entertain the kids while you're there. But it's a lot more friendly, it's a lot more human. And if I was at someone's house and they'd turn their house into a shop in the UK, and I was running around with their kids in their front room, they think I was a fucking pedophile. They'd come up to me and say, "What the fuck are you doing playing with my kids? Are you fucking mentally deranged? These are my fucking kids, mate." They'd be an uproar, or they'd be thinking, "What the fuck is this cunt doing?" And they grab for their kids and bring their kids back. Not in America, they might grab for their kids to pick them up, and because they're annoying you, well, if you seem happy, they'll just play with you. They'll see what you want. You'll take it easy. You'll talk about your day, and then you'll fuck off. I like this. Actually, it's a lot. Yeah, like I already said it's a lot more human. It's a lot more friendly. I feel something with the people here. They're ready to feel with you. They're ready to feel the awkward shit. They're ready to embrace it, like real people. In England, they say they're ready to embrace it. They're ready to give you advice and talk bullshit to you, but ultimately, they're not there for you. They're not a community in the same way people are in Latin America. Or at least I don't feel like that. Sometimes people in the UK surprise you, and years later or months into a situation, they'll appear and help you. But here, it's very consistent. And if they can't help you, or it's been 3 hours and they're helping you at your house, they'll just say, I can't do this, I have things to do. And as an English person, I'm like, yeah, alright, well, fucking hell, mate, blah, 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 and argue and say, why'd you come? At first, that's what I did. But here in Latin America, they're like, okay, I understand, thank you for trying. And then, the same people help you out the next day. It's much more communal out here, and I very much like it, much more trusting. And people are a lot more feeling. They're going to know if someone who's a paedophile is playing with their kids, because they're not more emotional, they're not more tuned to this. But in England, if anyone touches your kids, they're a fucking pedo, they're fucking stealing your kids. That's it. At the same time, in England, because we don't really have communities in the same way, if someone picks up a kid or whatever, people might not even fucking say anything. Now, in England, here and in America, if you pick up one of the kids and run away with them, someone's going to come straight out of another shop and fucking floor you immediately, because they know you don't know these kids. They don't trust that shit. They know immediately. In London, people don't give a fuck. You get stabbed in parts of London, people are just going to walk by and think, fuck, it's nothing to do with me. You get stabbed here in Latin America, and there's people about who aren't fucking gangsters or whatever. They're going to do whatever they can to help you. They're going to cry, and it's going to be like having your own mother there. They're very, very better in this respect. There's a lot more of that. And there's a massive, massive gringo culture thing here in Latin America. There's a lot of tourism catered towards gringos. I love it. And there's some really, really fucking shit translations. Everyone wears clothes with English on them. They don't understand what any of this shit says. It's not related to the personality at all, but it's very interesting to watch. People here love gringos, but it's not like, I mean, in Colombia it is like they're trying to get visas and whatever. Colombians, this is just Colombian culture. But in the rest of Latin America, they just enjoy them. They know they're smarter. They know they have more technology. Some of them aren't happy with this, but mainly here in Latin America, they're more pissed off with the Spaniards because the Spaniards were the colonialists here. Not Americans are not English. English are and Americans are colonialists of the north, not the south. So yeah, they enjoy gringos very much because they've got a very different culture, very different. They find the things that gringos do weird and fascinating. There's a lot of tourist groups. Sometimes I get quite pissed with gringos because we're just not very understanding, emotional people. Like we're all intellectual, all this, that, and the other, all very ordered. We're not flexible in the same way, and we don't fully understand their culture, and they don't fully understand ours. It takes a long time being here to really get what's going on. Before, I used to think everyone was trying to rob me or fuck me over when they're doing stuff. Now I just understand they just want everyone to be happy, and they're just getting on with things instead of worrying what I think. And I don't have to worry about that because I trust in them like they trust in me. It's nice. But yeah, the gringo culture, it's crazy. There's like certain hostels in certain parts of a lot of Latin America that there's just like, it's like being back in the UK or being in Europe. There's just fucking thousands of gringos all of a sudden. Yeah, like you'll go to certain hostels and it's a gringo hostel, and 9 out of 10 of the people staying there just speak English and all gringos. And it's crazy because it's very insular gringo culture, because I'll meet some of these gringos who've been here for like a year or like 8 months, and they can hardly speak fucking Spanish because they've just been speaking English. I remember an English teacher here who I met. Where was I? At the train station in Quito after I'd been in the jungle for 2 months, right? I learned Spanish for 10 days intensively, right? She'd been here for 5 months, and I'm using very basic Spanish sentences, and she couldn't understand me, so I just spoke English, and I'm thinking, wow, you've been teaching English for 5 months with your English friends, and you can't speak a fucking word of Spanish. Fuck, that's crazy. Nothing against them. No one here cares. It's not like in France, if you can't speak French or you speak it badly, you get penalised. France, fucking trust me on that. But it's just crazy that they're so insular, that they've done this, and the only experiences a lot of these gringos have are the tour experiences, and other gringos for the sex and the coca and the shamanic shit. But it's really not the culture of Latin America. People in Latin America, obviously, take maybe every 5 years or once in a lifetime. It's not that abnormal. They don't have an ayahuasca culture. They don't have a coca culture. Well, they do have a coca culture, actually. But it's not really a culture revolving around coca. It's more that a lot of the natives still just chew coca, but it's not a big thing. They're not like, welcome to coca culture. Oh, the kids eating coca. Oh, it's just another fucking thing. It's not relevant. But the gringos have a massive weird drug party, fucking native shit. I want to see the mountains and the natives and all this bullshit culture, and it's not really the culture of Latin America as much anymore. There is a different culture of the jungle people, but if you go to see these tour groups, you're experiencing what's called tourist catered culture, and it's not a real part of Latin American culture. I mean, it is in the sense that it exists. Obviously, it is. But this isn't how Latinos live and are. It's not an accurate representation of these people. But it is funny to watch these gringos, including myself, but not me, pay ridiculous amounts of money for things that the natives have for free. Or, for example, I went on an ayahuasca journey for $50. Another gringo paid it for me. I wasn't going to pay it. There's no way I was going to pay for that. But she wanted to pay for me, which is very nice of her. But it's just crazy because the shamans and the random natives, they can give you that for $3, or you just do it with you for a day if you chill out, or help the kids out the next day. It's not a big deal to them, but gringos, man, everything is like, whoa, it's great, oh my god. It's not, it's just people have fun here and they enjoy it. It's a very relaxed lifestyle. Anyway, I think that's enough now. I think I've given you a little bit of an indication of what it's like in here in Latin America. Obviously, this is not a comprehensive guide to living in Latin America, and I'm not going to make one. If I go back again for another 4 or 5 months, I'll feel like I know enough to make a guide on living here, but I don't right now. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, have a good day and have a good life. Buenos dias. Adios.